Hi, good morning. Quadcopter 101 here. What I got for you today is a review of the FY326 Q7 Quadcopter. Now, as you can see here, I got beside it here the Syma X5C, my modified version of the Syma X5C, heavily modified, that I use for aerial video. But if you look closely, you'll see there's virtually no difference between the two other than the decals and painting on the Quadcopter. They're nearly identical, with also the difference being the color of the LEDs on the FY326 is that they're red and blue versus the orange and green of the Syma X5C. With that in mind, about a half dozen other companies have stepped in to fill that void of the cameraless X5C. This is one of them. This, again, is the FY326 Q7 Quadcopter. It is a clone of the Syma X5C, as you can see. Virtually identical in every way. It's also the cheapest of the clones. There's about a half dozen different clones of the X5C out there. This is the cheapest that I can find of this. This one runs about $31 on gearbest.com. And with that in mind, the only differences that I see with this Quadcopter and the X5C is this Quadcopter does not have an on-off switch. It's missing the on-off switch. You have to turn the Quadcopter on by inserting the battery and plugging in the battery. Additionally, the plug for the camera, there's nothing there. It's an empty plug, so you can't attach a X5C camera to this. It's not going to work. But that doesn't stop us from attaching an 808 keychain camera, and I will be doing that in future flights. What I'd like to do today, the biggest difference that I am worried about, well, first of all, it has a different transmitter than the X5C, which may be good in that this transmitter may give us greater range than the X5C transmitter. I'm going to find that out today by flying out here at Satellite Lake and flying this till it drops to see what the actual range is on this transmitter. Another difference, the biggest difference between this and the X5C that I'm worried about is the flight control software on the circuit board in here. The circuit boards obviously are going to be different. If you're wondering, I already tried to bind the Q7 to the X5C transmitter. It did not work. This uses an entirely different circuit board with a different transmitter, different algorithm I'm supposing here. We'll find out when we fly here. So let's go into a flight and see. And that's the biggie. I want to see, how does this fly compared to the X5C? Is it as stable a flyer as the X5C? And if so, at $31, this might be a great starter Quadcopter for beginner flyers over the X5C. If this flies as stable as the X5C, I'm going to start recommending this one, probably over the X5C, if you don't care about aerial video. And even if you do care about aerial video, you might still want to consider this and include an 808 keychain camera when you feel you're ready for aerial video. Now, it's a breezy day today, and that's good for us, because the original X5C had problems in the wind. Let's see if this has similar problems. So let's go into a flight. I'm going to load a battery. We'll send it up and see how it flies. Okay, as you can see here, the battery compartment is just about identical to the X5C compartment. You slide these 500, 600 batteries in, 600 milliampere hour batteries in, and to turn on the Quadcopter, you just insert the battery plug into its slot there. Okay, you get a single blink to show that it recognized the battery. To turn on the Quadcopter, you have to bind it with a transmitter. Okay, now I'm going to do a quick test here. I'm going to start doing this with all other Quadcopters, these new Quadcopters as they come in. But the first thing I want to know is, what will happen to this Quadcopter if it loses transmission from the transmitter? If it loses the reception of that transmission, will it continue to fly? There are some Quadcopters out there that I'm worried about that when you lose transmission, they seem to continue to fly on. I want to make sure this doesn't have that same problem, so I can actually do maximum range tests here. So let's just start up the motors, run them at low, and then turn off the transmitter and see what happens to the Quadcopter. Transmitter off, and good. The Quadcopter stops flying. That's what I want to see. Again, be careful out there. There are other Quadcopters out there that if it lose transmission, they continue to fly. This one just stops flying, and that's good. Okay, let's go into a flight. Let's talk about this transmitter first of all. pressing this left button, this left throttle and yaw stick, if you press into it, that selects between beginner and expert mode. And if you press into the right pitch roll stick, that selects flipping mode. So that's how you activate the flip. They don't have finger buttons here. They're actually been incorporated into the sticks. And all of these trim buttons, these throttle and yaw and pitch and roll trim buttons, they actually work on this quadcopter. So let's send it up and go for a flight. And we'll go out onto the field here to see how this actually performs. This is my first flight of this quadcopter. It actually seems to be quite stable. I'm in beginner mode right now, and in beginner it turns very slowly. Okay, I'm going to send it upwind a bit. It seems to be quite stable, similar to the X5C. Now I'm just going to roll in the wind, or yaw in the wind. This is max yaw rate. Okay, let's bring it over into the field a little bit more. Now I'm going to press in and go to expert now. This is expert mode. This is max yaw at expert. That's the wind blowing it. It's actually stable in the wind as compared to the original X5C. Let's go upwind a bit. Let's try funnels. Funnels nicely in the wind. Now keep in mind, I have the prop guards on, and this is flying very well with the prop guards on. Now I'm going to press the flip button. This is, a lot of people are interested in flips. Flips nicely. Great flipper. Actually, this is a great little quad. Let's see what the range is on it. Let's see if it makes it to the pylon. Okay, it made it to the pylon, which is significant range. That's about I can't remember. I think it's about 100 meters. Let's go up Let's go up the lake and see if it makes it to the end of the lake. Holy moly, folks. I'm at the end of the lake. This has much greater range than the X5C, which right now I'm starting to think this is a better quadcopter without the camera than the X5C. There's a real strong wind blowing here, folks. It's going into it with prop guards on. I'm guessing about 5 to 10 miles an hour, about 10 miles an hour. Here, let's just put it in hover to show you it. This is the wind. Okay, I'm impressed with that range on that. Let's set it upwind again. See if it can fight upwind. Now this uses 4 AA batteries in this transmitter. If you look, it's a Hubsan-like transmitter. It may have actually a Hubsan. This may actually be a Hubsan transmitter for all I know, with Hubsan flight control software on that quadcopter. But I'm out past 100 meters. I'm out about 150 right now. It's still going strong. There we go. Right there. And the wind blew it right back to me. Let's set it up again. See if I can make it out to 150 again. Now I'm setting it up a little bit high so that the wind will give the wind a chance to blow it back to me. I'm going to send it out. Okay, I'm at the edge of those bushes. I'm going into those bushes. I'm out about 200 meters, folks. There, and right about 200 meters. Great quadcopter. This is a surprisingly great quadcopter for $31. Okay, let's bring this down so you can see it again. I was way up there and way out there. Fantastic range on this transmitter. Well past 100 meters. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do next is take off these prop guards after this battery dies. And we're going to fly this some more without prop guards on. To see how it operates without prop guards. By the way, very stable flyer. I'm going back to beginner mode. You can't fight the wind in the beginner. Going back to expert. But a very stable flyer. If there wasn't wind, I'd be demonstrating hands-off flying for you right now, but it's a very stable flyer. Let's fly this until the battery dies so we can see what type of flight times we can expect from this quadcopter. Nice stable flyer though. Let's bring it in close so you can see this thing. Yeah, its lights are blinking. Its lights are blinking right now, so I should be landing it. It's giving me good warning. I don't know how long those lights have been blinking. But I'm still going to fly until it drops. But the low voltage lights are blinking. I don't know if you can see them there, folks. Okay, and now I'm losing power. So I had some warning there. It gives me some good warning. And that's the flight time on that. I'll include text to show what the flight time is. Let's let it cool down for a bit, and I'm going to load up another battery. I'm going to remove these prop guards and see how it flies without the prop guards on. It flew great with the prop guards, so I'm assuming it'll fly even better without them. Let's give it another flight.